so I can cut it however I want to. All right, angels, guides, divine beings of loving light, what messages do we have for the collective for this upcoming week? First and foremost is grounding. Archangel Michael is reminding you to get your grounding in, that unless you have a firm foundation, you're not going to get very far, because your house will crumble if an earthquake comes or a flood comes or anything like that. So, the more that you can get grounded, the more that you are going to bring in those destined timelines for you, right? We each and every one have, a destiny for ourselves. We just have to get over the mental conflict, right? So the negative rumination, those lower energetic thoughts, of shame, guilt, depression, heartache, heartbreak, and Spirit is just reminding you, a lot of these things in which we go through, they are just for a time and space, not a lifetime. And they're really kind of meant to help, you to realize your own power, right? They're there to help you to discern, the positive and the negative, right? So these limitations may have been, in your communities, and there's certain soul contracts, right? Again, as like I was saying, some of these contracts, of the past, they are being removed now, and we've got rest and rejuvenation. The more that you can remove yourself from these lower timelines, or these spaces and places that create these mental conflicts for us, the more that we are going to show the universe and the divine that we are ready for that abundance and those blessings to come in for us. So we definitely need to just make sure we are focusing on those positive aspects, those aspects of love, releasing the fears, releasing the ruminations, and leaning into whatever, healing or spiritual modality, right? We have the healer of the ages here, which can be identified like as the Jesus. So, make sure that you are leaning into these higher powers within yourself, right? They only allow you to have more strength, right? And more intuition and knowledge. So, so that you can walk through these obstacles and challenges with ease, right? Because life is a journey and it's not just a destination, right? The cornucopia, the blessings, and all is part of the journey, right? It's not just something that we have at the end of the journey, but it is something that we are working towards each and every day, as we are planting those seeds, as we are sowing, as we are reaping, right? So, we co-create, with the Creator. 313 on the timer when I looked up. So, and we are just finding our power and the truth of who we are and staying balanced in that truth with our solar plexus, right? And that's our self-confidence. That's, feeling empowered, and our personal, relationships, how we kind of mirror each other, and how we see each other, right? So and the solar plexus is a masculine chakra, so that's all about the masculine energy too. It's also about self empowerment, self confidence, and not really being taking too much or giving too much, being really in a state of balance. So Spirit wants you to remember to work on your heart chakra, that love is the answer. We have the angel of love along with that. So, the more that we can balance our heart chakra and live in that space of love, the more that we are going to draw these, paths of abundance. We've got the temple path here for us. The more that we are going to have prosperous new beginnings, having our cups filled and overflowing with loving, caring relationships, right? So now you are finally attuned and in tune with who you are, the truth of your power, and, the truth of your destiny, right? You are destined for certain outcomes, right? And you are victorious. So just, you have moved through so many battles, in your lifetime, sometimes you didn't really know if you would make it through that. So, but you have, and you've come out victorious each and every time, right? So you have sacrificed yourself over and over again. And, now it is time for you to rejoice in perfect celebration. And, perhaps with people that you love, from the past, right? Or, new people even. So we have a woman holding a coin and the thinking woman. So we have them both. So sitting in your feminine energy, you're um, making sure that you are open to receiving, right? Used to in the past, perhaps you were more of a workaholic and always about getting out there and doing these things, but that has actually led to more constraints on your time and energy now than what it would have if you had actually rested into things, right? So make sure that you are standing your ground and staying in balance, right? Because immediately we have the thinking man behind us, right? So don't get too out of alignment. Make sure that your masculine and feminine energies are balanced, that whatever situation you're getting yourself into, that it is an equal give and take, right? And we are doing this, and we are opening those doors to romance up for us, walking away from those things that no longer serve us, right? And now we have that man holding a coin, right? So, the more that we are in balance with those energies of the masculine and feminine energies within and without, the more we are going to bring in those romances, friendships, relationships in which we truly desire. You have demonstrated patience no matter what through this entire process, and your foundations, is very strong now, right? So you've learned that solitude is a place for you to go and, get more in alignment, and that just helps you to move faster forward on your journey, right? And course assisting you with your prosperity, knowing that there's not just one choice for you, but there's multiple choices for you, and you can have multiple different sources of income, right? You have strategized and know the path that you are going to take, and you're no longer willing to suffer in silence, right? That heartache and loss, you have put that aside and chalked it off as part of the blessings and what you've received in order to grow stronger in your faith and in your trust and in your knowledge, right? That wisdom, balancing both of those energies, the masculine and feminine. And of course, we got the angel of balance right behind. So, whatever those energies of the past were, broken heart, anything like that, feeling left out or feeling lost, those energies are behind us now, right? Because we have illuminated the truth within ourselves, and, we have removed our energy from those spaces and places that truly don't deserve them, right? That aren't for our abundance and our blessings to move forward. Any of those people or places, that have deceived us in the past and helped to cause this broken heart, we have allowed those doors to close and opening. Now we are opening these doors to personal healing and happiness, which brings in again that balance so that you can move on away from temptation and moving into transformation. So no matter what tower comes in, no matter what comes into here in the near future, you're probably going to have something come in to feel like everything's crumbling apart, but it's really only bringing it all together so that you can have that material abundance here in this reality, right? Again, rest, rejuvenation, meditation, staying aligned to those positive thoughts, releasing anything that feels like a loss, and, taking care of your heart space, right? Knowing that love, that you are worthy, and that, moving in patience is what's going to open those doors, and speaking it into existence helps to get those passions ignited, right? So balancing that shadow, and you will be successful in all your new